Okay, Terumot Perek Gimel, Mishnah Hey. In order to understand our Mishnah, there's an important rule we have to understand, which is the following. Based on the pasuk in Dvarim, Perek Yud Chet, pasuk Dalet. Okay, the pasuk says, well, Gimel says, Zeh yeh mishpat haKohanim meita'am. This should be the rule of the Kohanim, me'izovchei hazevach, from those who slaughter animals. V'natam laKohen zorah l'chayayim v'akeba. You have to the Kohen zorah l'chayayim v'akeba. Those are the three pieces at the end that the Kohen gets from every animal. And Reshit degancha tiroshcha v'yitzarecha v'reshit geizonacha titein. The first fruits of your corn, your wine, and thine oil. Reshit. So let's focus on the word reshit. What does it mean, the first? So Chazal learn out from there, based on the Gemara in Eruvin, okay, that the word reshit means sheshiyareha nikarin. You have to know what's first. When you say first, it means that there's got to be something left over. So we're going to see this term pretty soon in the future, sheshiyareha nikarin. So let's go back just to say, we have reshit degancha, the first fruits. And the first means that you have to know what's first and what's not. And based on that, now we're going to learn our Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, Ha'omer trumat kakri ze betocho. So I've got a big pile of wheat, okay? Ha'omer trumat kakri ze betocho. So I say, take my pile of wheat, and I say, the truma of this kri, of this pile, of this store, of this kri is bounty, or, produce. Trumat kri ze betocho, it's there. Uma asota betocho. And the masot are in there. Trumat maaser betocho. And trumat maaser is also in there. Rabbi Shimon Omer Karashem. So Shimon says that's called Kriyat Shem. You have designated in this bundle, in this pile, is the Truma and the Maaser and the Trumat Maaser. And therefore what that means is that you have to say it's in there, and I can't say now I'm going to designate Truma from a Makom Acher, something else. Say I bring another pile, I take this, and now for some reason another pile comes along. I've got now two piles, and I say, I want to take Truma from this. So you can't do that. Once you're Karashem, once you did that, he said there's a Kriyat Shem. In there is Truma, and I have to designate it somehow. Okay? But, the Chachamim, we'll just read the Chachamim. Chachamim say, Ad sheyomar bitzfono o bidromo. That you have to designate the place where the Truma is. Until you say bitzfono o bidromo. It's in the tzafon, it's in the north side, or dromo, or the south side. You have to designate where on the fruit the Truma is. And this explains something that actually is very relevant to us today. Here, if you just look at the nusach of Hafrashot, Trumot, and Maso, which is actually quite easy to do, listen to what you say. When you're designating, you take the fruit and you say, Yoter mi'achad mi'mea kan harehem Truma gedola, bitzad tzfono. Bitzad tzfono. You have to say this bitzad tzfono. Why do you say bitzad tzfono? Now we understand. Because the word reshit teaches us, I know I'm going all over the place, but that's the way it is. The word reshit tells us that it has to be reshit, Sheshiyarea nikarin. And that's why today we say bitzad tzfono. Okay? So Rabbi Shimon says, so Chachamim say, Ad sheyomar bitzfono b'dromo. So if everybody agrees it needs to be Reshit and Sheyarea nikarin, how could Rabbi Shimon say Karashem? Says the Bar Tanura. Karashem, Av al gav d'rachmana karyeh l'truma Reshit, even though the Torah said the word Reshit, we saw that. Uba inan shiyu Sheyarea nikarin, it has to be recognizable. Since he said, Kevan de Amar bitocho, he said the word bitocho in it, mashma be'emtza hakri. That implies that it's in the middle of the kri, shehi truma. So he says, V'ha'ika s'vivav shem she'area nikarim. So let's go back to our little picture. When I say bitocho, I mean right in the middle bitocho. So since I said bitocho, that means in there, she'area ar nikarim. And that's okay. So I just made you a little chart. Let's see. Okay, Rabbi Shimon says, if I say bitocho, okay, both for Shumasra betocho, Shumat Masa betocho. Rabbi Shimon says Karashem, and also Maaser Karashem. The Chachamim say until you say where it is, until you say Bitzvono Ubidromo. Let's continue. Rabbi Lezer ben Chisma Omer. Rabbi Lezer Chisma. Oh, I said Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov. It's not Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov. It's Rabbi Lezer Chisma. Lezer Chisma Omer. HaOmer Trumat Hakri Mimenu Alav Karashem. If I said Trumat Hakri Mimenu Alav, I got it right. I got a little confused. Let's fix this. Rabbi Lezer ben Chisma says you don't have to say tzvono or bidromo. All you have to say is trumakri mimenu alav, from it. And he said that's enough. That's enough for Kriyat Shem. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Omer. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov says haomer asur isur maaser ze asur trumat maaser alav karashem. He says okay. So he says he's going back to the Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov is talking about the second part. Uma asrota b'tocho. Trumat Ma'aser Ze B'tocho. You can't just say Trumat Ma'aser. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov says you have to say Isur Ma'aser Ze. You have to designate Trumat Ma'aser from Isur Ma'aser Ze. The Trumat Ma'aser has to be designated from the Ma'aser itself. Okay, so this is the Bartanura. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Palig argues on Rabbi Shimon, and he says Trumat Ma'aser Ze B'tocho Kodem Shufrash Ma'aser Lo Karashem. You can't say Trumat Ma'aser before you have Afrashat Ma'aser. Aval Achar Shufrash Ma'aser. If you did designate Ma'aser, then Imamar Alav Trumat Ma'aser. Then if you said Trumat Ma'aser Karashem, you have to designate. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov says. So you have to say Isur Ma'aser Zeh Asuri Trumat Ma'aser Alav. You have to first designate Trumat Ma'aser, and then you can take Trumat Ma'aser then you can take Trumat Ma'aser off of the Ma'aser. And he's arguing according to the Bartanura and Rabbi Shimon. But of course the Bartanura says, Le tilchata chachad minayu elaka chachamim bilbad. We pass him like the chachamim that say that you have to say, and that's why we have it bitzvono bidromo. You have to designate because of what we said, because we said Reshit, Shiyu Shiareha Nikarin. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. I'm going to dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.